It's April 1st, 2022. I'm in New York. I'm in Bayside Station. Watching what they're throwing up. And there's this actor, whose name is Steve Harvey. And he has this golden gavel that he comes out with. And there's two women, I don't know, again, it's a commercial, so they don't go into what the case is over, but he's presiding as the judge. And then she says something, and he says, "You can't plead the fifth after you've already told the story." Now, I know somewhere in the world there is the fifth. I just have no idea where in the world it could be. I know there's a man. I know there's the staff, the council, the body, the blood. There's then some other stuff that goes along with it. What I'm confused about is the humans say these things, but they never give contextual structure as to how these things were built or where these things exist outside of where I am, is in the state of New York. Especially with all of the pieces in New York, like a crumbling cookie that may or may not align with other multivariate states of something. So that gets confusing. Here they put up Sky Rizzy. They make these things up. And then this doesn't even have contextual. I mean, it might somewhere. But I don't know what, like, I can't even decipher. I don't know how to decipher that at the moment. I don't have any contextual grab. Not available to all U.S. Patients. Restrictions apply. That I understand. And then there's a symbol I understand. But then it goes into this commercial about this Steve Harvey and sitting as a judge of some sort. I'm making this plea the fifth reference. I'm going to put that up. Hang on.
Always good to come to court when you can't lose.
I plead the fifth.
You can't plead the fifth after you told the story.
Judge Steve Harvey, new tonight on ABC.
Welcome back to GMA3, everybody. As we approach now week 6 of Russia's war in Ukraine, a potential breakthrough and peace negotiations between Ukraine and Russia. The Russian deputy defense minister says Russia plans to decrease its military activity in parts of Ukraine. This reduction is, he says, to increase mutual trust for future negotiations toward a peace deal.
Joining us now is Congressman Darrell Issa, who...
So I thought that was interesting, and pieces of information that don't always connect, because where in public school where I was schooled, there was no mention of a fifth. In Benjamin's elementary school, there was mention of fifth's disease, which I had to be careful. But only really the pregnant people had to be careful of fifth's disease back then. I'm going to pause this for 1 sec. Now, this is interesting. This is speaking on something well, now they're saying gas prices, inflation. But his name is Rep and Isa or Issa. I don't know, but it's ISS. Now, in some places, that's the International Space Station, so this gets really confusing. It's on ABC and it's on GMA, and this is the representative discussing this Ketanji Brown on some U.S. Supreme Court. Very confusing as far as what are they trying between the savior, the savior, the savant. Je ne sais pas, non so, I don't know.
Say that they were the best hearings I ever heard, but they certainly weren't the
In IDIOM.
worst. We had real questions about real decisions and real activities, but let's be candid. We knew from the start that she was going to be confirmed. There were a number of people who had previously voted for her with the same record that was being questioned. So at the end of the day,
That's a false narrative, because I've heard them say the complete opposite. But again, in weighted letter metrics and anagrams, this man has some symbolic whatever in some places that bring some unbeknownst whatever to an ideal capital M that is speaking on an ideal lowercase m.
today, I think we have to be candid. Elections have consequences. This president gets to pick a very liberal judge to replace, quite candidly,
Again, that seems like a dangerous lobby in the contextual reference of what's going on in hanging shingles on innocent women at the moment, which my face, I've got this and I've got electric in my joints. Now this morning I found some reference in my idiot savant position, being myself, so I don't upset others, needing to speak to ideal capital M of there's a master somewhere in mastery that has some capacity far outside my scope of reality that needs to know things, since my physicality has been harmed as well as my opportunistic lack thereof within my life frame. This morning I saw a U.S. flag with an elf visualization of elf count in stars. And then there was next to it something referring to Winston Salem and Zen. Now Zen, Deca, Zen, 10, 10, when writing in alphabet script, has been once or twice known in the big wide world of oops, where they make mistakes in the they category, not me, but they, as I-O perhaps, or L-O, lowercase l and as O, or is it an number 1 and a 0? Again, it gets dicey when you play Yahtzee. But it was on a basketball looking jersey, so I was going with the fact that it was Zen, Zed, could have been DHE, Deca, 10, could have been any of those, whatever. So, in that sense, they mentioned Winston Salem. I don't know what that Winston Salem opportunistic score meant on some basketball, which they use as under a three-letter of NBA. Again, I don't know. And this is like bowling. That's the fingers you use for bowling. When you have pins to hit and strikes. So, on a same lacquer of hardwood floor, very shiny, not supposed to walk on it. So there's the IO mention. Yesterday I saw a very, I don't want to upset the boat, but he looked either some form of Asian. Around here, the big Asian names are either Chinese, Korean, and that's really, or Taiwanese. Those are the three that hold communal, or Japanese is the other one that they speak of. But again, they're not all the same. I don't want to go into figuring out labeling systems, but there's some contextual whatever. So I heard one of those possibilities address their child in the playground at Marie Curie Park, where I was with my son, and he referred to his son as Io. Again, it's some calling that they use in sounds. Now I turn on the TV this morning, and for me, Io sounds io, io, dio, io. So and again, majuru, I turn on the TV and there's AYO in an African using the sound IO in some but different symbols, but same sound in this market of idiot to idiom, or idiom is throwing to idiot, being I'm an idiot savant in receivership of this like mastery of none, and I'm like, I don't know how to receive that, because I mean this when you have ballistic tempers and temperaments, this seems like a really dangerous practice of the humans.
Welcome back to GMA3, and we're back now with a trip to your grocery store. And the mom entrepreneur determined to see the authentic cuisine of her childhood reflect.
But they're throwing it out there. Like this mention throws it out there. Like, it's so wonderful. Oh my God, they're putting African products in the grocery store. Oh my God, the kids in America, they're so good to one another. We did such a good job. No, not according to hanging shingles on innocent victims and on ballistic tempers. No, it's not.
Reflected in there. Take a look.
We were inspired to create IO actually by family. So IO translates into joy. And the brand was very, very much centered on all of these incredible.
Oh my gosh. They look nothing like the man in the park yesterday. I'm just saying, might stir up some trouble in my local hate crimes unit with this level of identity thievery in sound products and whatever. I mean, this is the kind of stuff like hairline triggers that could have been avoided and then get really sloppy. So this is how they're spelling their IO at Foods. They're saying they're a founder. And here's one, and there's the other. But the man at the park did not look like me. He was not my leaf. He was not my tree. But neither are they. And there's conflict, which might put me and my son in danger at some point. Just curious, where does one keep oneself safe when this like if I wasn't so studious in how everyone in the world is performing in some dangerous plight, and I'm just trying to document where I see layovers that could be a potential problem for perhaps something that's not in this particular market or state of affairs or events in this invasive of a forensic accounting method. I mean, I wouldn't even be able to put that I-O together with the sounds they're making with 3 very different letters, but with the same word pattern, and 2 different trees with different leaves, and I have a leave me alone in my own belief, and I don't know how to or where this is or why this is being pushed during this, whatever this is. It's April 1st, 2022. And it's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. It's Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe, Galaxy is broken. And it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361.